Yes, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Business Learnings. In this video, I'll talk about the value chain analysis. What is a value chain? I actually did a separate video on value chain a few months ago. But in this video, I'll talk about it in detail and how do we analyze a business based on its value chain. Why is it important? If if you want to understand a business, if you want to understand how can you make it more efficient, uh, what are the different components which are not performing up to the mark, then value chain analysis gives us a framework to do that analysis. Um, it simply divides the entire business into set of activities, and after that each activity could be measured if there is an efficiency problem with that. So uh, let's take the example of let's take the example of say a watch company. Okay, so let's take the example of fast track. Let's say now, uh, what are the different components of the fast tracks watch business? Let's try to understand that. The first thing, if you're running a think from the perspective of the owner of the business, what would you do if you were running a watch business? What would the first step be? Of course, you'll have to fetch the raw materials. You know, raw materials as in the watch band, the the glass, batteries, dial, everything, LED, metal, a lot of things, you screwdriver or screws, a lot of things. You will have to purchase a lot of things from different suppliers. So the first part is the inbound logistics. Official name is inbound logistics. It constitutes of everything that you need to buy in terms of the raw materials. Okay, so if you are making a quality watch, you want to make sure that you are purchasing a band, a strap which lasts long, which does not break. Okay, so you have to purchase it from reputed suppliers which have the history of producing quality materials. Uh, if you are purchasing glass or any other raw material, you again have to make sure that you are purchasing it from suppliers which deliver quality products at a reasonable price. So you have to analyze that part of the business. Is the product, is are the raw materials that I'm getting, are they good enough in quality? Am I paying more for it? Am I paying the right amount for it? Am I getting proper discounts if I'm ordering in bulk? So these kinds of questions you'll have to ask, and you have to understand if um, there is a problem with any of these factors. You have to ensure incorporate proper quality checks so that uh, you do not uh, you do not miss you do not end up having bad a bad raw material supply, which because it could eventually uh, make your product worse. So the next part is operations, which is manufacturing the entire watch. So assembling the dial, the machines, everything else, and putting them all together to create the watch. Uh, Third step is the outbound logistics. So if you have a watch company, you must be having various outlets, or you must be selling your watches to those outlets, or maybe through e-commerce. You will have some selling platform for the least because you have to sell it. And Supplying your watches to those selling platform is what constitutes of the outbound logistics. For outbound logistics, you want to be sure that you are able to predict the demand from various sources, various retail sources, stores, and you are able to supply that much product to them in time so that they do not run out of stock. Also, sometimes if they overstock the product, there is a cost involved in it, right? Uh, you need space to store a lot of products. So you also want to make sure that you do not end up supplying a lot to the retailers so that they are not able to sell all of it. So this is outbound logistics. You want to ensure that shipping costs, transportation costs, they are minimized for you because you have to supply them and you have to supply them all across India. You want to make sure your supply routes, the trucks that take your product, that deliver your product to the stores, they follow such periodicity and route that leads to uh, the least cost possible for you. You can also outsource it, but this is again a value adding process, which is the outbound logistics. So far, we have talked about the inbound logistics, which was buying raw materials. Second, we talked about manufacturing, that is operations. Third, we talked about the outbound logistics, um, which is supplying to your retailers, the shops. Fourth step is sales and marketing. This again is a value adding process uh, because you have to identify uh, the right segment of consumers who will like your product, and you have to market your brand based on those people. What uh, so sales and marketing are two different things. Sales is a part of marketing. Marketing is a broader term, which uh, which means identifying the right target segment, identifying the right customers, and communicating them about the product, and then delivering them this product. Okay. So if I have a fast track watch, uh, I would like to tell my consumers, my target segment would be the people who are looking for watches in the range of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 rupees. So little bit middle income group, middle to let's say lower, middle to low high kind of people, upper middle class, I would say. Mostly students. So these will be my target segments, and I'll have to identify them. I'll have to identify where should I locate my retail stores so that my products sell more. Um, Selling them near universities would probably be a better idea. Of course, now you have e-commerce and you do not have to put a lot of effort in thinking where should you position your product, but still uh, you need to position, you need to identify your target segment, because if you want to uh, develop ads, if you want to reach out to them, you have to make sure that you do not reach out to all the people out there, every Indian out there. You have to, because every reach has a cost. Reaching to a lot of people costs more. You have to make sure that the people you are reaching out to are indeed your potential customers, so that uh, you do not spend a lot per customer. Okay, so this is sales and marketing part. Again, you have to put in efforts to sell, especially at retail stores where there will be salesmen who will talk about the product and uh, pitch the consumers about why is this particular product unique and why they should buy it, what their needs are, and how the product fits their needs. So sales and marketing needs effort, and again, a value adding process. fourth. Fifth is the servicing. Servicing could mean two different things. First, in terms of these kinds of products, like we took the example of watch. So service here would mean if it's if it stops working, if it malfunctions, if it doesn't something doesn't work properly, then you should have the mechanism that you should have service centers. You should have mechanisms that would enable the user to get it repaired, so that user can constantly derive value from the product. And it's not just the user had paid the money, he got the watch, and it is over. It's not over. Service is an important part. Why is it important? Because if it doesn't work, the user is not going to buy from you again, and he's not going to recommend this product to your friends. So you are losing out to potential customers, you are losing out to people. Also, you will be getting a lot of bad reviews on e-commerce, which will further affect your sales. So servicing is an important part. Uh, so we talked about five stages, from purchasing raw material to manufacturing to supplying to retailers to selling to servicing. So this this was the entire chain of products from zero to the customer. So this was the value chain. Now these were the core activities. If you are running a company, you also have a lot of other activities which we did not talk about. For example, if you have a company, you will have a finance department, right? Finance department which will look after your finances, look after your performance metrics. You will have your HR department which will hire your people to do the work. You will have your laborers, the experts which who will be assembling the machine, who will be doing the core work, the core uh, workforce of your company. And we'll have managers, we'll have engineers, a lot of people, right? So of course you will have the office space. A lot of things are missing. So these are support activities. There are four kinds of support activities. First is the procurement. So this is the purchasing department. And you know, uh, if you're thinking that you just have to make the purchase to buy the raw materials, you are incorrect, because of course you have to buy the raw materials. You also have to buy a lot more. I'll tell you how. Uh, for operations, for let's say for assembling the watch, uh, you probably need some machines, right? You will need manual work, plus you need some machines. Someone has to go and buy those machines. So this will come under procurement. For shipping, you will need trucks and other means. Okay, someone has to go buy those trucks. Who will do this? The procurement department. Uh, for servicing, uh, you probably might want to have the if you are a premium watch company, you might even give the uh, the home pickup and home delivery service. They'll pick up watch from you and repair it, and then they'll deliver it to you. Someone from the company has to do this, and he has to have a vehicle to get to you, reach to you, right? Someone has to buy those vehicles. So as you see that at every function, you will have a lot of things that you'll have to buy, and the procurement department will do that. And we want to make sure that we do not overspend on that buying, and we are getting the right value for the cost that we are paying. So this is enabling the procurement part. The next is uh, the the technology. Okay, the technology part of the company. What do I mean by technology? So if so you are a watch company, right? And you have multiple stores throughout the country, and you want to estimate what will be the demand in the next 1 year month wise across different states. Okay, how do you do that? In order to do that, you will have to estimate what is going to be the demand from what has been the demand in the past, what is the demand of the other competitors, the other watchmakers, and what is the income level of people in general. A lot of variables have to be considered, and technology will help you develop algorithms to reach to that. Uh, Technology could also mean the ERP system. So you have different departments, right? They have to coordinate. It's not that the sales department will call the manufacturing department, hey, I'm expecting about 100 more watches. Write it down, you have to manufacture 100 more watches. I got an order for that. No, there have to be a system, a software on which the sales department enters the number, the operations department gets it, and it manufactures it. You do not have to, so that you do not have to do things manually. For the entire inbound and outbound logistics, there are places, different points in supply chain where you have to track uh, where has your product reached so far. You want to track that, and you do not want to call those people all the time. You have to make it the way so that you get constant updates. Like you order from Amazon, you get the entire details of your shipping history. You have to have uh, proper technology in place, an integrated system in place, which has all these five parts, 5 or 6 value adding parts, and it keeps track of everything. The marketing, for the marketing department, it keeps track of how many customers did we target and how many of them actually end up buying it. So technology enables that, right? The financial department, they work on computers, they generate balance sheet, income statement on computers. They build models, they predict their statements, financial statements, everything. Again, they need a system for that. They cannot do it manually on paper. Of course they can, but it will need a lot of effort. So see, technology or IT in general is is a enabler of all, makes things more efficient across all these functions, all these parts of the value chain. Next is the HR department, the human resource management part. And it is not just about hiring and firing people, it's also about, you know, educating them, motivating them, and making sure that uh, they are able to utilize their potential to their maximum, right? Uh, of course, you'll have to hire the right people with right skill sets, um, uh, people with the right skill sets who can assemble watches without with the least amount of error possible. And not just that, you will have to hire people across all these sections who are experts in marketing, who are experts in manufacturing, who are experts in management. You have to hire an IT team. So a lot of these things have to be done. So HR department will take care of that. And to support all of them, you will have to have a firm-wide infrastructure. What do I mean by firm-wide infrastructure? You have to have an office space, right? Better the conditions of the office, uh, more likely are the people, more likely are people to work in it. If it's an air-conditioned office, um, the watch assemblers will probably prefer to work here rather than working in some other place for the equal pay, which does not have AC. So these are the kind of firm infrastructure. Do you provide lunch to your employees? Do you have a canteen in your place? Do you have proper washrooms in place? So these are various things. These are the various things which come under firm infrastructure. So I gave you various ideas across what are the various parts of your business which add value to to the product that you are building. And why is this value important? Because you finally want to make money. When you sell the product, you finally want to make money. How do you make money? You make money by uh, generating value at all these 5 core activities and the 4 supporting activities. And these are the value adding processes. And the entire thing that I talked about is the value chain. And I hope the example was clear. I know the video got a little long, for 20 minutes. If you have watched so far, thanks a lot for watching. See you in another educational video. Bye.